What's up, everybody?
We're
This
gonna do
is the
live
Radiant
microphones here
Sun,
in
Jake
3,
Redondo, and you're
2,
watching the
1.
CCP broadcast.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome to Beyond the Bell Live. I am Chris Page. It is a Sunday afternoon here in sunny Florida. I'm glad to have so many of you here in chat with us as we get started. Welcome to the show. Goth, I see you, buddy. Welcome to the show. Fireless Nerd. If you're a fireless nerd, I'm a wrestling nerd. So we'll both be nerds together. Welcome to the show. For those of you who are joining us as we get going, we got a good one for you today. Before we get started, got to throw out some announcements. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be live right here on Twitch with the ace of MPW, Brendan Devine, stopping by for a watch party for the summer, anniversary spectacular coming from Millennium Pro Wrestling. I was there live and in living color. Had a blast at the show. Those guys are out there rocking like no other. You guys need to definitely put your eyes on them. You will not be disappointed. Also, November 22nd, CCP Podcasting's jumping into the live event business, and we are producing and putting on Chapter 1 Genesis, coming to you from Orlando, Florida. We've got about 7 matches on tap, loads of talent, already announced. Your main event, Matthew Ennis, sponsored by Throwdown with Matt, which I still can't believe that's a thing. Taking on Keikoa, the Hawaiian Warrior. I have went out and found a warrior to come and deal with this son of a bitch, and hopefully Keikoa will get the job done. The only way that you will find out is to be there live on the 22nd of November. It is going to be a happening, and we have got other chapters already in the works. Now that the funsies are out of the way with the plugs and all that good stuff, let's get to why we're here today. I just touched on it. We'll have Brendan Devine here tomorrow night from Millennium Pro Wrestling. Our guest today is coming to us from Millennium Pro Wrestling. I've had an opportunity to sit down and get to see this guy work over the last 3-4 months that we've stumbled into Millennium, and we've seen a lot of his stuff. And better watch your mouth, because he's been known to throw a loaded right hand. Bear witness to the brass knuckles, baby. Let me tell you that. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest today, the Bar Time Brawler, Mr. Chuck Mercer. What is up? Listen. You came that close at the anniversary show. I don't want none of that. I don't want those hands. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right. How are you, man?
I'm living the dream. It's chat going crazy with some claps and hi from somewhere that is I don't know if that's a dirty word or not, but it's coming to us from who's that coming from? Fightless Nerd. I mean, it's there's some stars there, and usually that's a fuck or something. We're not made for children, so feel free to drop your bombs.
Twitch is doing this weird thing where like it's starting to censor certain words that shouldn't really be censored. It's weird.
I don't know what's going on. I try not to get political at all, but you got to be careful with what you say nowadays, because you might get thrown off the fucking air. Chuck, I had the opportunity to check you out through Millennium Pro Wrestling, and obviously I was there for the anniversary spectacular. We saw all the stuff that led up to it. And with these conversations, I genuinely and generally start from the beginning. And for you, it's where do you fall in love with professional wrestling? What drew you in back before you even thought about lacing a pair?
Yeah, you know what? I'm a little bit of a black sheep. I'll say that. I grew up. A lot of the guys that you see, they grew up watching wrestling. Like wrestling was the lifeblood of. They would see every show and kind of like they knew all of these storylines that happened. And I'm kind of the black sheep because I never really grew up watching wrestling. I did here and there, but not to the point that other people did. And I was never really a diehard fan. My beginning kind of came from, funny enough, I'll talk about my beginning with MPW.
Sure.
So my beginning to that actually had to do with Cody Prince.
Okay.
I actually met Cody through Halloween Horror Nights. That's something. I was a scare actor with him, and we got really close. We became super close during that time. And one day I'm trolling on Facebook and I see a match that or like a snippet of a match between Cody and Danny Devine.
Okay.
And I just was like, I didn't realize it until that time, and I was like, how do you get into something like that? So I messaged Cody, and I said, hey man, like I see you wrestle. What's how did you get into that? How do what do you? And he's the one who actually pointed me. He said, okay, well I train at MPW. You should come with me. And that started the snowball rolling downhill. Where it was, I got in, and I trained with Seth Skyfire,
Okay.
who is he worked OVW, and then he was a brief stint in WWE, and great trainer, really great guy. I love Steve, and yeah, man, from there, just
what year was that? If you don't mind me asking.
Kept going. I want to say, so I started training in, I want to say 2015, and then I took a little bit of a hiatus, and then came back primarily in 2016 to and I had a full-time training schedule in 2016.
Okay. Real quick, shout out Harry's wife. I see you in chat. Shout out. Oh, let me go back up here. The fightless nerd is hi. I said hi from Chuck's wife, but it censored it. So the missus is here live in chat, guys. So be nice, please, and don't be mean. We've got
Mama Mercer's in there too.
Mama Mercer's in
Mama
here
Mercer.
too. Oh,
Mama Mercer's in there too.
Ecogenics says, I love you, Cody. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the show. Guys, everybody who's joining us, if it's your first time here, I'm glad to have you. Welcome to our podcasting family. This is a safe space, so by all means, enjoy the show. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I will get them worked in. I meant to say that on top of the hour, guys. That's my bad. Mama Mercer is indeed in the house. So when you decided to get into professional wrestling, so it's again back when I was lacing my pair, and you it was different times, right? 1999 to 2005 versus 2015 to now, it's probably polar opposite. When you decided that, all right, so you go with Cody, you're getting kind of your feet wet here. When do you decide to go all in on it, and when you learn the process of professional wrestling, the biggest misconception is that it's fucking easy. It's not. Everybody has strengths. Everybody has weaknesses. I'm kind of curious, when you get into training, what were some of your strengths and some of your weaknesses?
Well, I gotta be honest, as someone who didn't grow up watching wrestling, as I stated earlier, I definitely had a lot of weak spots, going into it. Obviously there were guys who were ahead of me because, we would start to be learning something, and they knew what the move was called. They knew what the move looked like. They knew exactly, what a universal was, where I had to kind of struggle and fight to learn. I want to say that probably what happened there is I just started coming. I started coming every, there were, I think we had a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday class back when MPW was in Moore Park. And I started coming every Monday, and then I started coming on Wednesdays, and then I started coming on Tuesdays, and then I started coming every week. And the trainer schedule kind of shifted. We had a moment in time with MPW where the trainer schedule kind of shifted a little bit, and you would get different trainers for different days. And I just, one day I woke up and I went to class, and it just clicked. Something clicked. And I realized that I was, my wind was really good, and I was having a lot of fun learning. And I just, I realized that I could actually do the things that I was learning to do. And yeah, man, it kind of, again, the snowball rolling downhill from there. It got bigger and bigger and bigger, where I was just like, yeah, I'm in it now. And I want to, and I want to say my biggest inspiration for going to class and going to showing up as much as I did, I wanted to be on the shows. I wanted to be in the ring with these guys, putting on, this entertainment for this crowd. And mind you, in Moore Park we had a very, very small crowd, but it was small, but they were loyal. They were amazing.
So I'm
And
going to step on you real quick, but when
Yeah.
you talk about like sizes
Yeah.
of crowds, et cetera, I do want to point out this. So I've always said that it is never about how many people buy a ticket to your show. It's about those that did buy a ticket to your show. Did they have a good time? And if the answer to that question is yes,
Yep.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how many people were there. No matter whether it's 2, 4. I've wrestled in front of 2 people before in my career, but both of those people left having a great time. Because all of us at that point took it upon ourselves. We were like, "Fuck it." We drove all this way. I think it was like a 2.5 hour drive for me at that point in time. They were going to cancel the show.
I mean, if they're gonna pay the money to come see you, then
Yeah, it's about the investment.
Make it entertaining for them.
If they're invested, they're going to come back. And and this is kind of like a really good situation of if you build it, they will come, night and day. Going from the older days of Millennium Pro to the newer days of Millennium Pro. I mean, you guys are drawing a very loyal base, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in just a minute. I don't mean to cut you off by any means, but I definitely wanted to talk about, it has never been about the size of the crowd. It's always about the investment. Did they have a good time? And that's one of the arguments when I see online. It always drives me up the wall. People are, they can't sell out a fucking stadium. Well, who cares? Who cares? Did the people who invested have a good time?
Did you have fun watching it?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Did the guys go out there and work? Did they entertain you? Because that's what this is all about. It's about entertainment. It's about escaping reality. And I guarantee you, in Moore Park, whether it was 2, 4, 6, or 10, that was a reality escape for them when they showed up for that to that particular show or for those shows. So they needed an escape, and you provided it.
Well, yeah, I will say that when on Friday nights when we were in that tiny little building, because it was like we were in basically an office space that shared a building with all these other businesses. But when we were in that tiny space, man, it was magic. It was a good time.
Over in chat, Nito King, Chuck brings the energy to all the shows, so for sure. So you've got that, yeah. And I can attest to that. I've witnessed 2 of them back to back. When we talk about the earlier days of Millennium Pro Wrestling, and you always go through training to get to that debut, and I'm kind of interested in yours because we were talking a little bit off air, and a piece of why out of character. I had a really good conversation with you 2 days in a row. In character, fuck you. I don't like you. But out of character, we had a really good conversation. And part of why I wanted you on the show was so that I could show my audience, who you are, because you're very good in the ring. And we'll get to some of this again in just a little bit. But the second piece of that is because you have such a tie to Millennium Pro Wrestling, and in my ignorance, when I had Danny and Brendan on, who had the same ties, that go back, Dan, Brendan, and Danny's case goes back a little bit further. I didn't get a chance to ask them about the older days in Moore Park and the building, and you were there. You got a chance to see this go from Moore Park to where it's at now. So let's talk a little bit about the debut, and then let's talk about the growth from your perspective of Millennium Pro Wrestling.
Oh yeah, of course. So I actually debuted December 2017. That was my actual debut with MPW. A little bit of a behind the scenes, since we're doing behind the scenes. My first match was supposed to be with Danny. It was supposed to be with Danny Devine.
Mm-hmm.
And the show. The previous show, the week before, we were supposed to do a student showcase, which was me and a couple of other students. We're going to have our very first match. Danny unfortunately suffered a concussion, and while he was in the middle of a match, thankfully he was okay. We were able to get him. Hi, buddy. We were able to get him over to be seen, and he was totally fine. Sorry, that was my kid.
Yeah, nope. It's anything can happen when you're live, folks.
Yeah. But in the interim, actually came in Brendan. So my very first match ever was Brendan Devine, and that was a very interesting moment because I had back when I was first debuting, I would meticulously just weeks before go over this match, and I was so nervous and I was so like scared of like, oh my god, I don't want to mess up. I want to do a good job. I want to, I want to make my trainers proud. And so I had this whole match. We were talking about, we were working it out, and yeah, again, that unfortunately does happen. Everybody seems to think that wrestling, oh, it's fake, right? It's fake. Well, okay, yes and no. It's predetermined, but everything we do in the ring is 100% real. That is that it. We put our bodies on the line all the time for the entertainment of others, and so sometimes accidents do happen, and that thing happened. And then it was weird because we kind of had to. We were able to kind of slide Brendan into that slot.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just worked out for everybody. But after that, then I will say this, from my debut, it I have gone we joke about this all the time. I've gone the gauntlet of gimmicks before we finally settled on Chuck Mercer.
Let's talk about them.
Let's
go through the Rolodex of gimmicks. You give me yours, and I'll give you mine.
You're getting to know the real me now. So actually, when I debuted, even before I debuted, I was actually a referee for MPW.
Okay.
So I was Andrew the ref. That was my persona. And so when we started going into okay, hey man, we're gonna have you more on the show, and you're gonna be we're gonna have you be a mainstay now. I started out as Andrew the ref, and then we transferred to Andrew Mercer. And I originally, and this is the next name was my very original name that I came up with, that I wanted it to be. That it was Charlie Mercer. So Charlie Mercer became the whole gimmick there, and then after that it became Chuck, and so we settled on Chuck. I think a funny story, I'll tell you a really quick story about that, is the way that name came about. Actually, again, I have to thank Danny Devine. We were training, we were practicing entrances and practice matches, and Danny was announcing he was just announcing us, and he forgot the name Charlie. And he just went, and next up, Chuck. And it was kind of one of those rare moments where, we had a huge class of people that were there to train, and they all just started erupting, Chuck, and they started going crazy. And it just made the practice match, it was so much fun. And I think it was that moment where we decided, okay, hey, I think we have something here. I think we should go with that. And then leading into, on the opposite side of that coin, what Chuck Mercer became and what Chuck Mercer was the Irishman. And the way that happened, I have to actually thank another one of my trainers, Ray Rosas.
Oh, tremendous.
So, yeah, Ray's amazing. I love Ray. But he's actually the one who kind of... so I have a penchant for accents a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to do the Irish accent, drop in and out of it. And one day we're all just standing around talking, and I just dropped into my Irish accent. And Ray just kind of, stopped for a second. And he was like, hey, that's actually pretty good. He's like, we should do that. That's what you should do. You should be the Irishman, and you should come out to Chumbawamba. That's what you should come out to. I was like, okay, sure. And so I kind of had the very first night that I debuted as Chuck Mercer, and kind of that whole length of time that happened. It all started one night against Daniel Moon, who actually
coming back.
I got to promote our show coming up, Moon Landing.
Yeah.
Moon is coming back. But my very first match as Chuck Mercer was against Daniel Moon, and we had a little bit of a Kofi Kingston moment where it was me, Brendan, and Moon in the ring, and we're cutting this promo. And Brendan even turns to, I started talking like this, and I started talking in my Irish accent, the way I do it, like, you can't talk to Daniel Moon like that. And, like, I started talking like that. And Brendan kind of took a second. He was like, hey, wait a minute. Where's the accent coming from? What's going on? Like, he just it was a reverse Kofi Kingston, where he's like, wait, you're Irish now? What the hell? And, of course, the crowd was, behind him 100%. Like, yeah, that's really weird. And it did take me a long time in order to kind of win over the crowd to this character that we had created.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, eventually it just got to the point where there were Chuck chants. I'd come through the curtain and people were chanting Chuck, and we rolled with it.
Well, I mean, I love the fact that fucking Brendan's standing in the ring and here's Chuck, because I could for some reason I just totally see him doing that. Shout out Eddie Rohr, national champion and one half of Millennium Pro Tag Champions in chat. Hope you're doing well on Sunday, brother.
Eddie and I are not on good terms right now.
Well, he's not here. He's in the chat, and he's always been respectful. So I don't see him being any different this go around. So whether you got issues or not.
Look, you didn't hear it from me, but I love Eddie Rohr.
Well,
you didn't hear it from me though.
That's all right. I do too, and I don't care. I did. You did hear it from me. But it's just it, man. There's so many of you guys that are so talented and under the radar and deserve to be recognized and as to what you're doing. It's good stuff, and you just take it from a dude who watches stuff from all over the world every week. I literally have hundreds of people on my screen every week. So if I resonate with something, my gut tells me that genuinely that there's something happening here. There's something good happening here. Not everything resonates with me, but I always will find the good in what we're watching. Don't get me wrong. I'll find something positive out of it. But if I want to come back, or if I tell my team we're dedicating, 1 day a month to this fed, or 2 days a month to this fed, then that's what we're doing. And that's where Millennium falls in, because we're invested. That's you guys. That's not anybody else but y'all getting in there and doing your fucking jobs. Like, it's great to see. Now, the early days of Millennium, going back to, you talked about it, you wrestled in front of sometimes 2 people, 4 people, and to where it's gone now. So the growth from your perspective. Actually, before we get there, when did you hone in on the Bar Time Brawler? Where like 100% commit into that? Like, this is where we're going, because that's the Chuck Mercer I know. That's where I came into Millennium. I came in knowing you as the Bartime Brawler. So for my eyes, it was easy to hate you coming in and beating up on Nina. Who are you? What do you think you're doing? She's a national treasure.
You know what? Well, yeah. It is what it is. Sometimes you just got to beat people up, man. It happens. So I actually came up with Bartime Brawler. For some reason, I was kind of, at the time, I think I was playing WWE 2K23 or something like that. And, you playing like customized characters and stuff like that. And I don't know, I was playing around with the idea of monikers and how it just, like, having a moniker before your name. Like, I always kind of enjoyed the, like, he is the blah 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 blah, like, and then the name. I always enjoyed that. So about the coming out, and I feel like it gave it more of a feel of like, oh, I can kind of, now I have something to call him. Now I have something to look at. Now I feel like when you come to a show and someone calls out, like for me, it's the Bartime Brawler, and when people are looking back on the show, I hope that they would look back and go, hey, what about the Bartime? If they don't remember my name, at least remember, hey, what about the Bartime Brawler? Like that was pretty cool. So I'm kind of hoping that would be a thing that's kind of said. And then not only that, but this was also around the time where I started to go to I started to wrestle at other promotions.
Okay.
And someone had told me, hey, you should make up promoter information. And like on there, and they sent me a kind of like a template.
Mm-hmm.
And on the template was like, hey, do you have a alias? Do you have a moniker? And so I, again, playing with alliteration, I came with Bar Time Brawler. I'm like, I'm an Irishman. I drink Bar Time Brawler,
Sometimes
and then it just kind of stuck.
Sometimes it's so easy though, right? Like when it's right in front of your face. So we're talking about gimmicks, man. I saddled myself with like the absolute worst gimmick for the first year and half of my career. And what makes it worse is my friends in the industry and that I was traveling with, because I went on the road at 17. We traveled from 17 to 22. What started as like a every weekend thing, then went to a Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday situation. Like, so we were on the grind all over the South.
Wow.
And I ran with this character known as the Zen Master, but I spelt it Z-I-N versus Z-E-N, and it was the opposite of Buddha, which was calm and serenity. My character thrived on chaos, and it was. I thought it was
gonna say you're the party guy.
I thought it was the coolest fucking thing, and then I was like, why am I not getting past like the second match? Like I don't even get the opening match, because to me, like the opening and the closing matches are your two marquee spots on a card. Opening match gets your crowd going and gets them hyped and ready. Your closing match sends them home happy or pisses them off on the way out, whichever one that you're going with. Couldn't even get past the fucking second match, bro. And then it came to me like I need to change my whole deal, and I did. And then I just went to Chris Page, and then I went to I had a fascination for DDP because I thought that was the coolest fucking thing in the world. The crowd would chant DDP, DDP. So I wanted something similar. So I needed another C.
Yeah, that's
where Chronic came in. Chronic Chris Page, and it worked. Okay. And it worked for 3 or 4 years, and
sometimes you get that you get a gimmick like that and you just got to work it, man. You can work it till it can't be worked anymore.
Well, I think with me, it's all about authenticity, right? Like even when you're trying to play a character, you're trying to play something that you're not, like people will see through that. And it took me a minute to realize that it's not who I was. Now, I definitely am a connoisseur of cannabis and have a card that says that I'm legal to do it. Fuck with me. So it worked. It worked for me because it's me. It's not everybody, but that's me. And I was able to connect more with the crowd, and then I started elevating. So like sometimes all it takes is that little moniker change. Sometimes that's all it takes. And the Bartime Brawler is catchy, and that's where I'm getting at. It's catchy and it sticks, and you remember it because if you're I'm not saying if you're normal, but with me, I associate it. When I hear Bartime Brawler, here comes a fighter. This is somebody that's coming to fight, and then you back that up the moment you walk through the through the curtain, as you from your facial expressions to how you handle yourself walking around the ring, to your interactions with the crowd, to when you get in the ring and you're bells on, let's go. Like you encompass it. You have a way now that you have wrapped your arms around it, and I love it. I think that the character work is great. If like I think I told you when I was out in Southern California, like you're my Matthew Ennis. I have a guy over here on this side of the Matthew Ennis in Orlando that we just have got the world fooled, that we despise each other, that we can't stand each other. This guy hates me and I hate him, but it's just, you're my Matthew Ennis on the West Coast. I could see that, just being one of those things where I just pick at you and you pick right the fuck back. And it's cool. and it's just a way to, if it gets you guys over, fine, that's what it needs to do. Like I can be that mediator and make that happen.
No, please.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I actually kind of wanted to touch on the on that a little bit, and you had mentioned something about the comfortability of and like how you can fall into being comfortable in a role, and I think that's kind of what happened with Chuck. it was, I got to be honest, when we had started these gimmicks, these several gimmicks, I I was doing the moves and I was in the match and I was doing the match, but like you could tell I wasn't as comfortable, and it was kind of just trying to find my rhythm, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so when we started doing Chuck, it it just, I don't know, something about it. I just kind of put myself into it, and like, Chuck isn't who I am as a person, but I was able to put more of
Heritage.
like, I yeah, and I was able to kind of make it my own,
Yeah, sure.
where these gimmicks were given to me, and like I gave the name, but all the gimmicks were given to me. This one was solely like I got carte blanche to just, hey, I want to try this. Go ahead, try it, see if it works. And the thing about MPW early days is that we could, we actually had that moment to, if we wanted to try something new, we tried it in front of the crowd. It was almost like focus group,
Mm-hmm.
we would try something and see how
Yeah,
the crowd
100%.
reacted. From the moment we moved to Chatsworth to the moment that COVID hit, we had this crazy run of amazing shows, and everybody who came out and supported it was awesome. And that's what really started the whole, what MPW is now today.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of started there, where we, like, it did start in Moore Park, and we had a whole lot of fun with the shows and everything there. But I really think that the meat of what MPW truly is started when we got to Chatsworth. So I was stating that, when COVID hit, it was really unfortunate. The company, everywhere closed down.
Yeah.
But it was also, you know, uh, when we went to lockdown, and then in 2021 there was the return, when we were able to come back, and I was a little apprehensive to doing it. It was kind of, I got to be honest, I was scared, and so I if I could go back and do it again, I would 100% go and be part of the return, like, and work with them from that time moving forward. But in 2022, Danny actually hit me up and said, "Hey, we're doing a Legends Night. If you would like to be a part of it, let me know." I said I would love to be a part of it, and we did that whole thing, and it kind of reinvigorated the fire that I had to do it. And so in 2023, I actually made my return. It was a full Chuck Mercer return, but as I stated before, I didn't really like the way I looked or the way I moved.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a different time, and I had been away at that point. I had been away 3 years from wrestling. So, in that time, there it is a thing of you just kind of lose track of it, and
Sure.
it's hard to kind of climb that mountain to get it back. Um, Unfortunately, in May of 2023, I actually lost my best friend. He died of a heart attack, and he's 32 years old, and it was I've known him. I knew him his whole life, and it was really difficult for me to kind of just it came out of nowhere, and I lost my will to pretty much do, like, definitely to do shows and to keep wrestling. I was just like, you know what, I don't have it in me right now. I lost my heart. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you lose someone that close to you, it just uh, kind of kills it for you. And so, Danny was really awesome about that, because he hit me up and he said, "Hey, I heard what happened. Like, do you want me to keep you out of shows for right now?" And I said, "Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. Like, I don't think I can do it anymore." And he said, "Oh,
Uh-oh. And now that looks like I am snake bit.
I lose you.
I'm fucking snake bit, bro. I am snake bit. That was Discord.
Oh, now I'm Chris Bay.
No, I'm so sorry to hear.
No, it's okay.
About the loss of your best friend. I understand how that could, really do a number, especially at that point in time. But you turn the negative into a positive. It looks like in a pretty big way. So continue on now that I'm officially back. We'll see for how long this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's wild is I have a show after yours. So if I'm having this many problems now, I can only imagine what's going to happen at 6:00 tonight. It's going to be great.
Well, hopefully it just the buck stops with me. We just.
It's all because you tried to punch me in the face, man. I'm telling you, that's the internet gods are not smiling on us.
If I apologize, will that make it better?
No, I don't want you to apologize. Just do it again.
Late 2024, I just, I was getting in the gym. I was feeling really good. And I was kind of just like, I was watching old shows. And I was in a group chat with Brendan Devine, Daniel Moon, and Robin Shaw. I don't know if you call Robin Shaw, yeah. I was sending them pictures of like, hey guys, I'm in the gym. This is awesome. And Brendan was actually the one who said like, hey man, if you are serious about returning and coming back, we can make that happen because we're MPW's heading in a really good direction. And honestly, we would love to have you guys there with us.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, I just kind of, I was like, yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, I would love to come back because all they had to say was, hey, we're going back to the Moore Park days and how fun that was and how the great stories and just the camaraderie and everything that it was. And that's all he had to say. And I was on board. I was like, yep, let's do it. We had, I know their plan was that in order to bring me back, I had already kind of like put it out there, but they were on the same wavelength as me. That we were like, hey, if we're gonna bring you back, we got to bring you back heel.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do baby right now. Like and that's always been a kind of a avenue, especially with MPW, because I've done heel work at other places. I've played heel, but at MPW, I was always strictly babyface. I was always the good guy. And so it was an avenue that I never really got to explore for myself. And so
fun.
Man, let me tell you, in June when I made my return, I want to call it a soft return. In June when I made my return, I don't know, man. At first I was kind of like, I'm gonna do whatever the booker wants me to do, and I'm gonna follow that storyline and just see what happens,
Mm-hmm.
And the funniest part is the moment. I'm sure you've seen The Hangover, right? You've been following the shows for a while now. So the moment where I actually turn on Danny, the crowd started cheering me. It started cheering. And I kind of, in that moment, I was like, because, I was already told, hey, here's what we want Chuck to be. Here's what we want Chuck to turn into. You know what I mean? Like, you're not the I love the crowd and the crowd is with me. You're not that guy anymore. You're bitter. You're angry. You have a vendetta against MPW. And I went, okay, sure. And so in that moment, I turned it around and I ended up actually screaming at the whole crowd. Like full blast, like that. None of that was script. Like, we didn't plan for that. It was just a moment in time where it felt like the right thing to do. And I got to be honest with you, when I went into the back and I was kind of sitting there and I was going, did I do the right thing? Like, did I make the right choice in that moment? And honestly, it's apparent because you look at the shows now, they boo me from the moment I walk out.
Yeah.
Like, they hate me.
Yeah.
And and it was definitely a moment of like, you know what? Yeah, I think I did the right. I definitely did the right thing. It was, and my life has been topsy turvy in the wrestling world since then.
Well, you got to do something different, right? Like, I was always a heel, bro. I was never babyface. I found it way easier to just go out there and be honest with people about how I felt. And at that point in time, also, this is 20 years ago, 22 years ago. So you could say a lot more and you can get away with a lot more because internet wasn't a thing. Social media wasn't a thing. Like the promoters back then just wanted you to draw heat, do what you got to do. Just make sure you sell tickets for the next show. So it's just for me, it was an easier route because again, I see through I see through fake. So I can see when somebody is trying to play a baby face and you can tell that they're trying to, and the same thing can be said with heel work too. You can always try too hard. And you gotta kind of hit that note just right. And I do think that you're doing that with this evolve of the Bar Time Brawler. And it's interesting because you had touched on Diego Valens earlier to come full circle. You dropped the champion. Yes, you dropped the championship to him at some point at an anniversary show, and then you circle back around in a form of long-term storytelling, if you will. And you have this moment where you two guys are hooking it up this year at the anniversary show, and that was when I happened to be there. I was there. I witnessed all of it, and you had this hell of a match. Which, guys, if you're here in chat, that's what we're watching tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, if you want to catch it. If you don't want to wait, then go over to Millennium Pro Wrestling on YouTube and look for the Anniversary Spectacular. Let's talk a little bit about that and the build to that and what that meant, because I feel like that was a moment, at least from a crowd standpoint, from my standpoint, it was a moment. It was a cement moment for Chuck Mercer to not only have it, but then to pull the win.
Well, so I mean, I think one of the best things about MPW and just in general is the amount of rich history that there is in within the company,
sure,
within storytelling, and the different stories you can tell, and that they are telling right now. An interesting point about that was actually that match with Diego Valens for the anniversary show was the first time in 6 years that I've been in the ring with him. That was the only other time. So I had my match with Diego, right, at when we first started in Chatsworth, and that was the title change and everything like that. But 6 years went by, and mind you, for from that point of Chatsworth to COVID, I was wrestling MPW every single week. So I never shared the ring with him. And that was the first time in 6 years. And, I had talked to Diego and I was like, hey man, like, this is awesome. Like, you and I get to not only explore history together, but I get to be in the ring with you again after so long of not being in the ring. And it surprised him too, because he was like, wait, we've never been in a match? I was like, no, man, not at MPW. We have never been across the ring from each other after that match that we had. That was it. And so he put a smile on his face where he was like, yeah, that's really awesome. I'm really happy to do this with you. And the one thing I like about my character and where my character is right now is I'm getting to explore not only the past, but also the present and the future. Like where I have this match with Diego that is just dripping in history, and then I turn around and I have a match with a student that is currently attending MWA. And it's really an interesting thing to me to kind of sit there and go, I have someone I have such a rapport with, and I'm comfortable with. I think it's a difference between being comfortable with the person you're with and just being comfortable in the ring. You know what I mean? There are people who I could wrestle all day long. Like, I could wrestle Diego, I could wrestle Ray, I could wrestle Danny, I could wrestle Brendan, I could wrestle Moon. There are people within the company that if you said I need to put together a match right now and I need a 5-minute match, go out there and do it. I need you to go out now. 110%. These are the people I could absolutely do it with.
Well, you talk about the student showcase match, right? And it's kind of like it draws a comparison because, again, I was there for that student showcase show as well.
Thank you for showing up for that, by the way.
Oh yeah, man! Like I have no problem. I was out in the area, and legit, my hotel was 5 minutes away, so it's not like it was it wasn't a big hoof by any means. Once I was out there, but I had a moment to talk to the guy that you were wrestling, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but dude was so nervous. Isaiah. He was so nervous, and I was just like, bro, you're gonna kill it, man. Just you got this. And I had a moment with him after the match, and I was just like, so when do they go away? When the nerves go away? He was like, when I got in the ring. I was like, told you. But to have that moment on the student showcase show where you are sharing the ring and having the debut match of someone who's come through the academy, there has to be a deja vu moment because you were that guy 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So how does that feel?
100%. Yeah, no, 100%. It was so me personally, I have always had, almost always, I've always had someone who was the vet in the ring with me. The person who had the more experience, or they were the more talent, or they were the ones that were helping me. And, as I gained more experience, it became less of they're helping me and we're more working together. So to be in that moment where I was the vet, and I was the one that was supposed to help this kid through a match.
Mm-hmm.
There was a part of me that was, a little nervous. But then again, with training and being in the ring, he was petrified. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus or anything like that. But you could see it in his face. He was petrified. It's his first match. And there was a part of me that understood. I understood it. I was like, yeah, you know what? We're going from wrestling in front of each other and nitpicking and working out the kinks of what's wrong and making it right, to now you're in front of a crowd. You can't, it's live. You got to go. And there's no, hey, let's stop. Let's try that again. No, we got to go and do it. And I want to say that I was very comfortable. I was way more comfortable doing that than he was coming out and working with me.
I thought one of the coolest things, and I don't mean to pull the curtain back, but I think one of the coolest things that happened didn't happen during the show. It happened after the show, and it was right after my conversation with him. You walked up, and instead of him thanking you for the match, you thanked him. And you said, thank you, I'm so happy, and I'm so pleased to be your first match. Something of that nature. That I was pleased to be your first match. I thought that was really dope. Because you, as a veteran, I don't know if that's etiquette. I've not been in a locker room in 20 years. I've only been in 3 since we've started doing this our podcasting platform. So I've not been in there. Like back in my day, you shook hands and with everybody when you came in, and you said thank you when you got ready to walk. Thank you for the match, man, on the way out. But it was usually the young guys who were coming to the veterans. That was what I was expected to do, not the other way around. So to see that you did that, I thought that was a cool moment. I don't know if that's part of the game at this point, but
I would think that so for me it's more of I've been with Isaiah, and I train with Isaiah and Zeus, who was also on the show.
Sure.
And and Tyler, who was on the show, and Marote, who was on the show. But I train with these guys all the time, and I got to know them on a very personal level. And so, especially with, they handed us this card and they said, hey, you and Isaiah are on a singles match. I think that's very, while a tag match is very, it can be personal as well between the 4 that are in the ring. I think a singles match is even more personal. Of it's just you and me in there, bud. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to watch him grow within the classes he was taking, and then also as we were getting to know each other and getting the match prepared and everything, I got to watch that, and it was like a really it was really awesome to see that, and then have him go out there and just fucking kill it, man. You know, like because it could have gone the other way. He could have gone out there and been so scared he didn't know what to do. But you know, I'm telling you, he went out there, he did his stuff, he put it all out there, he listened. You know, you may not be able to tell, but he was communicative and very open to what we needed to do and what the point of the match we were trying to get across. And so, yeah, of course, I walk up to him, and I'm to be someone's first match. I feel like that's a very special thing.
Sure.
Because like if no matter where they go in life, whether they stay to wrestling or they go somewhere else, they're always going to look back on that moment as you were the first person I was in the ring. And you know, I'm always going to remember Brendan being the first person I was in the ring.
Exactly.
You know, like he was my debut match, and I thank him greatly. I thank him and Danny, honestly, because Danny was supposed to be my match, but if it wasn't for Danny running through everything with me and, you know, having the patience and the know-how to help me go from a student to an actual wrestler, then I don't know where I'd be. So,
well, I thank Millennium Pro Wrestling and Danny Devine on a daily basis because you guys... I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, we do a lot of stuff internationally, and I'm very close with a lot of different companies here in the States, but I don't have a Fed in the States that I would say, like, is my go-to. Like, I will sit down and watch at any point. Well, Millennium is turned into that go-to, and it's opened the doors to some other things as well with Primal Pro, and you know, I had a great conversation with Jake Redondo earlier last week. He opened me up to SoCal Pro, like. So
yeah,
like
Jake's awesome.
When we come in and I come in, like, I don't look in just like one market, because I know that while I say that you guys are crushing it and deserve to be seen, and that is very true, the entire market deserves to be seen too. So like, while there's 12 guys here in MPW, and that's just spitballing, I could probably name more that I would go out of my way to see, I guarantee you there's more of those out there in the area in Southern California that I don't know about, and I should. And that's the beautiful thing about what we do on the platform, is because when we get into an area, and first of all, people understand that we're authentic and we mean what we say. Like, I'm not a podcasting channel that makes false promises or doesn't deliver on anything that I say that I'm going to do as a channel, whether that's sponsorships, whether that's sending money, whether that's whatever that comes down to. Like, we say we're going to do it, we're going to do it. It's just who we are. And I think that there's may not be that much of that going on out there. People say one thing, but they'll do something totally different. To have the roster that you guys have, and the way that you all brought us in and drew us in, like I said it earlier, that's a testament to what you guys are doing in the ring. That's a testament to what's being presented from production, from the writing of the shows to the character work that's being done. Like, it's a whole package. It's not just one thing or the other. It's the entire package. It's there. And you really have just gotten back into your groove, because 2025 has been kind of the reemergence of Chuck Mercer and the Bar Time Brawler specifically. There's only a handful of months left in 2025. What's on your radar? What are you looking to get accomplished before the year ends?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I got to be honest. I think sky's the limit. I think that it's I have been in talks with some talks about future stuff coming up for MPW, and all I can say about that is there's some really exciting stuff coming.
Well, you know what I told you.
Yeah.
You know what I told you at ringside. If you remember, and you remember what I said and what I called, I would not be surprised if I see it. Would not. Because it's,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Nor would I ask you to, because getting people in trouble on this show is not what we're trying to do at all.
No.
We're trying to enjoy the ride.
I definitely I can't put over enough that like all the fun stuff that we have coming up. We really do. Like anybody who hasn't seen MPW before, I really hope that they, check out the YouTube. If they're in California or Southern California, if they're able to come to Chatsworth and check us out live, we have a lot of fun live. But the shows as they're happening coming up, they're gonna be real good, man. Me personally, I'm still looking to see this evolution and where this evolution leads. Where can I take Chuck? Like where to one extreme or another, like what if maybe I don't know. Oh yeah, Danny just saying Chuck has a national title match this Friday, so
yeah, you're getting in there with Eddie Roar. Thoughts on that? Big opportunity.
It's a huge opportunity, and Eddie is a extremely tough competitor. But you know what? So am I.
Mm-hmm.
So's Chuck. I think that's going to be a really fun match. I think that having the eyes on us is just going to motivate us to really kick ass and just bring it.
Well, I think that that you and Eddie is a shut up, take my money moment. Only because I know what you guys can both bring to the table. And in a world where independent wrestling is truly on fire everywhere, you've got this big deal with Eddie on Friday, but I'm kind of curious if there's anybody on your mind right now that you want to get in the ring with. Who does the Bar Time Brawler want to throw hands?
That's a really good question. You know what? Actually, there is a name that comes to mind, and I'm crazy for even thinking it. But Tyler Bateman.
Well,
I would actually.
Why are you crazy for saying that? Bateman's fucking great.
Bateman is amazing, but yeah. Bateman will absolutely destroy me. I actually really I gotta be honest. Bateman has been with MPW for he's come and been with MPW for a while now, and every time that he has a match at MPW, I watch him and I talk to him and I go, man, I could learn so much by having a match with him. And not only that, but his gimmick, his persona, everything. I think that would be an interesting match with Chuck. And how would Chuck approach the goddamn man?
Yeah.
So it's that's definitely one I would love to have. Another I would actually love to have, and this is kind of close to home for me, is J2 Mattioli.
Yeah,
the Playmate.
I can see that.
I've been friends with J2 for a long time, and we only shared the ring one other time, but it was in a tag match. And now with my evolution as a character and his evolution as a character, again, I'm super interested to see what that would be like with us meeting together in the ring.
I can dig that. I'm a big fan of J2's too. Somebody else that I came across through Millennium Pro and then through Primal Pro, and it's just insane. I'm here for both of those opportunities if they were to arise, and I think that the Bartime Brawler needs to definitely mix it up with the Playmaker. That would be That's another take my money moment. Just telling you, dude. I'm just telling you. As we're on this downward hoof, if you will, and I know we've run a little long thanks to Mother Nature and internet, I would imagine at this point.
My bad, guys. My bad.
No, I blame Chuck. Blame Chuck Mercer, guys. That's what you get for threatening me in the MPW arena. I'm very, very interested to see, from your perspective, and I'll give you the answer as to why I asked this question when you give me your answer, and that doesn't sound fair, but it is, I promise.
For sure.
Some people that we should be watching. It could be anybody that you've been in the ring with. It could be, people that you may not think are getting the spotlight that they deserve. Anybody, according to Chuck Mercer, who should we be watching at CCP Podcasting?
I honestly have a list of answers that, Draven Silvera, you should definitely be watching him.
Yep.
He's just, every week that guy's getting better and better and better. Nina's amazing, and
Yep.
she deserves all the credit.
Can I give you a Nina story?
Oh yeah, please.
We're at the anniversary show, and the show's it's either just about to start, or I think it's just about to start. And somebody comes up and starts saying hey to me, like they know me. And they say hey to Wendy, yada yada yada. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't. Who are you? I'm so sorry. It's Nina, and I was like, I don't recognize you, not if you're not in gear.
Oh no.
So,
okay.
I was like, I need you in gear. But I got the opportunity to meet Nina, and I've had a couple of conversations with her since then. And that's my funny Nina story. She literally walked right up to me, hugged my neck, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Who are you? But it wasn't a negative thing by any means. I'm used to seeing her in gear.
Sometimes when we're not in gear,
Well, yeah, like not so much, and I hate to say this, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way by any means. I really don't, but it's not so much when I see guys out of gear because we're not wearing different, we're not wearing makeup or anything of that nature. Like women change their different styles of makeup, shit like that. Like excuse me, I didn't mean to say that like that. But I just didn't recognize her at all, and I was like, I am so sorry, Nina. There's my Nina story. Sorry. Who else should we be watching? Go and check Mercer.
Draven, Nina. You already had them on your show, but honestly, I can't put over enough Dustin Daniels and Busio. They are amazing. Busio is fantastic. Dustin Daniels is wonderful. Those two are, and they are getting recognition, and that's great. I just keep it coming, man. Keep it coming.
Oh man, Dustin's coming for a solo show early October.
Hell yes, that right there is perfect. I love those two. They're fantastic wrestlers. And then also my opponent for Friday, Eddie Rohr. I think definitely Eddie Rohr should be getting some recognition as well because man, he's just alone in MPW. He has he's risen and he's worked his ass off and man, he's over as hell. Every time a Friday show. Yeah, every Friday show when he comes out and that crowd just erupts. I'm just like, man, that's you can't pay for that kind of attention, that kind of pop, man. You just can't. That's all natural.
It's insane how much they love him, and but you know what they say about a good hero, he'll definitely make a great villain. I'll leave that there at some point.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now, I think I'm soaking up the villain.
Yeah,
villain
and you need
right
to.
Now.
You need to right now. Like I'm telling you, I go back to what I said to you at ringside. I'm not going to get into it here, but because if plans change or something changes, and I don't want it to be because I said something, but I've called several plays to you privately, and we're going to see if what I've called.
See if they pan out.
Exactly. So I want to kind of wrap things up, and again with these conversations, Chuck, I have them intentionally to where I'm scratching the surface, man, because ultimately I'm about long-term relationships over short-term gains, and I want to leave the door open for you to come back and chit-chat with us down the line and circle around and catch up with what you've got going on. Obviously, we'll be watching you through MPW, but I definitely want to kind of wind it down with this. As I've had a conversation with a lot of different people in the Southern California scene. In March, we're lining up CCP Podcasting's Chapter 3 live event, and I'm excited about this. I can't wait to make an announcement on a formal date, but I think we've about narrowed some stuff down. I'm looking to collaborate, obviously, with Millennium Pro Wrestling and Primal Pro Wrestling, and just kind of make this a big SoCal fucking all-star weekend party. I'm going to do my show on a Saturday, and I made no bones about it. I've talked to you privately about it. I'm going to bring it out now because usually I would hold this stuff and just not get out there. But since I got you on the show, definitely want you to be a part of Chapter 3. I think that the Bar Time Brawler needs to be there. So like I said, it's going to be in March. I believe we're looking at March 28th to be determined. But that's pretty much where I'm looking. You want to be a part of our show? You want to come out and show our audience as a part of our live event what the Bartime Brawler is all about?
I mean, do I get to punch people?
I'm sure you're going to have an opponent.
Well, then count me in.
All right, so done. I did the same thing with Jake Redondo. I was like, man, I want you for this show, or if you're available and if you have the date, let's do it. But Danny Devine's been really great to talk to get some people from Millennium Pro Wrestling side of the equation. Antonio Rivers has been really great to talk to get some stuff on the Primal Pro side of the equation. And ultimately, I want to use my platform to show, our audience a little bit more about what's going on out there. And, we'll see what happens from there, because here's a behind the curtain, a spoiler, if you will, because I believe we've committed to 2 shows in Southern California. Shh, don't tell nobody. But I would love to have you. I'm glad that you're going to be available and to be on the show, because I think that the character is tremendous. I, again, had a really, really great conversation with you face to face. I knew that I wanted to get you on this show because I know that, contrary to popular belief, you're a good dude. And B, if the right people see the right thing, you never know what'll happen and how it can happen. And our platform's been very successful in the past. And I try to do that with everybody that agrees to come on and talk to us. And for you, I couldn't be more thankful that you were able to give us some time and to come in and give us a little piece of what you got going on. Because again, we just scratched the surface, and I do hope that we can get you back in a couple months to further dive deeper into what's going on with you.
Hey man, when it comes to your show, I'm more than happy to come and talk to you.
Well, I will hold you to that, because I enjoy making long-term relationships, and it might be in a situation if we can ever line something up. We do these watch-alongs with MPW stuff, so maybe we'll bring you in for a watch-along to watch back a show with us too, to get your perspective and shit like that too. That door's always open. Yeah. We dig those. Those are a lot of fun. Is there anything that you want to say to the people before we get ready to close things down?
Yeah, you know what? I would definitely say, again, that if there's anybody in the Southern California area or Chatsworth area, come down and see us, man. We MPW is really something special. The way Chris has been saying, we love all the people who come and see us. We love our fans, and honestly, we love putting on a great show. And all the guys and girls who are there and put on the show for you guys. They're really great people. They just want to entertain. I think there's nothing better than that. And if you're not in California, and that's okay, check out the YouTube. YouTube we consistently put up shows. I believe we're putting up Bizarro World
every Monday.
Yeah, so we got Monday at 7 p.m. We do premiere the show we had the Friday previous. And so, yeah, man, that's Chris, I can't thank you enough for even wanting to have me on your show. I respect the hell out of your program, and I love your channel, man. I really appreciate you kind of giving me a chance to, open up and the kind of the guy behind Chuck Mercer. So,
yeah, man. I definitely want to have you back on. Don't ever thank me for giving the time and the space, man. This really goes down. The thanks really goes to you guys, because again, without y'all getting into the ring and doing what you do on a weekly basis, some people several times a month, and the companies attached to it that put the product out there, we don't have anything to watch, and that sounds really boring and dull to me. So
it 100% will be.
I do appreciate the thanks 100%. We feel the love for sure. The independent wrestling world, a lot of places have wrapped their arms around us and what we're doing, which means we're doing something right. That's what it tells me. And to think that we're only 2 years old, and it took a year to even figure out, what was working and what's not working, and what can we do where can we help the most, and how do we get the stuff across. And when we've settled in, look out, man, because next year is going to be even bigger than this year. We're definitely going to be doing some things, and I'm glad that you're going to be a part of it too, because again, this is not just a short-term situation. It is a long-term relationship that we're definitely looking to build. As Mr. Mercer just said, guys, if you want to check out Millennium Pro Wrestling, please do so. YouTube.com/Millennium Pro Wrestling. You'll be able to find them. It's not difficult. Hit the subscribe button. Guess what? That's free. And if you want to follow Mr. Mercer, it's been on the screen the entire show. If you've been here and you've come in and you've watched and you're not following Chuck, shame on you, But you can fix that right now by going over to Bartime Brawler over on Instagram. Hit that follow button. And you can catch up with what he has going on through Millennium Pro Wrestling and what may be coming beyond, because professional wrestling is very wild and there's a lot of different things that can happen at any point in time. You've got to stay in touch with the ride. Mr. Mercer, it's been a fantastic conversation, sir. So for Mr. Chuck Mercer,
Absolutely.
I am Chris Page. We will see you next time.